Get Warrior Tough, Mental Training 101 with Andrew Wittman and Dutch Coleman. And now back to Andrew and Dutch.
All right, back in the saddle. This hour is flying by, man. Dutch is on the Twitter at @TheDutchColeman. I'm at Warrior Tough PhD. Use the hashtag GetWarriorTough. Go to the website, GetWarriorTough.com. You can give us a call at the office, 864-977-1443. I would love for you guys to weigh in on this and get your thoughts on it, because I really, you know, Dutch, that I actually struggle with teaching People Whisper for a long time. I didn't even want to break it out, but because I use all these things, and I learned them from the best in the business. But that's why I will not teach it to anybody that hasn't gone through some portion of CEO of You all the way through, like mindsets and thinking like crap and identity. So this is a tough one for me, man.
And this is exactly what you're afraid of. The people who seek a one-sided advantage, a one-sided gain.
Yeah.
And that's what these people are doing to their employees. It's a one-sided gain. They aren't looking for any balance, anything that makes sense for both parties to rise together. It's about me rising and keeping you down, and that's what we always. And I would give Uber the benefit of the doubt if I didn't have all that other stuff going on before it. I already know that I can't give them the benefit of the doubt. When people show you who they are, believe them, right? Right.
And Travis K and Uber have shown me who they are. I believe you guys. Honestly, I believe you.
And I can't blame the evil. I'm doing a hand quotes. The evil corporation, right, doing what they do, right?
Right. No.
Because we can't train the evil corporation, that entity. What we seek to do is to train individuals and train leaders that begin leading these corporations, and then these corporations will change. Because right now, man, this has been going on forever, or the desire to complete this type of thing has been going on forever, right? They're studying these things to get a gain. So if we can get a hold of as many people as possible and teach them CEO of You and People Whisper for the right reasons, and then that will begin to influence how these corporations behave, which will then, as we say, try to make sure everybody's ships rises with the tide.
Yes.
And we're not talking about some what do you call socialism type thing where you get it's just
no.
It's just free market, not abusing.
Yeah,
it's without
that's the whole thing. You're right, because this is what's going on. So here's Eli Solomon. He's a Chicago Lyft and Uber driver. He said the whole thing is like a video game, and that he sometimes has to fight the urge to keep working more after looking at his data. So it comes through his app, and so this gamification, it's very literal. So it's kind of like players on platforms as Xbox, PlayStation, Pogo. Uber drivers earn badges for achievements, like if they get above and beyond. So if they went above and beyond, they get that high rating. It gets denoted by a cartoon of a rocket blasting off on their app. Isn't that cool? It makes me want to do a good job. They said
they've done their homework.
Yep.
They've done their homework.
No, they have. And if you get one for excellent service, it's marked by a picture of a sparkling diamond. Listen, multi-level marketers, you do this too, right? The emerald, the ruby, the diamond, the double diamond, the triple diamond. They give them all these badges, kind of thing, right? So then there's the entertaining driver. If you were an entertaining driver, I guess if you did karaoke in the car karaoke, whatever, that you get a Groucho Mark with glasses, nose, and eyebrows, like an emoji of that on your thing. And so, it's crazy. So what happens? That makes you want to do more work when you see that data. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, and an additional thing is you talked about earlier, how you have these competitions, right? You don't think these Uber drivers know each other, and people are aware of what's going on. So I'm talking about my badges. I'm talking about my accomplishment compared to yours. So when I hear about yours, I'm going to try and outdo you and get more badges than you, because I want to be able to, next time we cross paths, I want to be able to say, hey, I'm here on this level. Well, I'm here on this level. Well, I'm here on this level. So it becomes that competition again. Uber continues to win. They stay winning, as we say. And they're just sitting there just counting the cash. Counting the money.
Now, along those same lines, Kevin Werbach, a business professor who's written extensively on the subject, said what you just said. That's that gamification could be a force for good in the gig economy because it creates bonds even among workers who don't share physical space. But there is a danger of the abuse, which is also what you just said. You should be quoted in this article. If what you're doing is basically saying, we found a cheap way to get you to do work without paying you for it, we'll pay you in badges that don't cost us anything. That's manipulative way to go about getting work. Now, I thought it was Mr. Streeter that lost $20,000. I was wrong. It's a guy named Scott Weber. So Scott Weber, he drove full-time almost every week of last year picking up passengers in the Tampa area for both Uber and Lyft, and he made less than $20,000 before expenses like gas and maintenance. So he's trying to live on $20,000, but now he's got to pay his gas, the car payment, and all that other stuff. He said, I was a business with a loss, Mr. Weber, who's looking for another job because I'm using payday loans just to stay afloat.
Yeah.
So this is a bad spot, right, Dutch? He's in a bad spot. Would you agree?
He's in a bad spot.
Using payday loans is a bad spot.
Yeah, and you know what the people, the evil geniuses are going to say? Hey, man, he chose to do that. Or they're going to start trying to figure out ways to blame them. And again, it's true. And you see I'm saying true.
Oh, no, Dutch, they love this guy. You know why? Because even when they asked, the reporter asked him about his badges that he earns while he's still driving for Uber at a loss. It said, Mr. Weber practically gushed. I've currently got 12 excellent service and 9 great conversation badges. Woo! It tells me where I'm at. No, Scott, your paycheck and your bank account and your debt statement from the payday loan company, that tells you where you're at, not your badges on your Uber app, babe.
Poor people. Poor people. So luckily, the people that are listening to us are going to start analyzing what they do. We did a corporate call yesterday evening where we talked about, costs, right?
Yeah.
And so people that are listening to us today are going to be able to take an analysis of what's going on and really going on. And if you can make Uber work for you,
do it.
Then fine, do it. But you're going to have to be aware of what's going on so that becomes a part of the equation when you're trying to figure out if it's good for you or not. So that's what we're here for. We're trying to teach you how to understand what's going on, how to dissect it, how to break it down, and then flip it and use it in your favor, on your behalf,
right,
to your gain,
right,
and not necessarily to hurt anyone else, but to your gain. Because this is, as Andrew said earlier, this is happening, and it's going to keep happening more, and it's going to get more sophisticated. So if you keep listening to us, if you come to getwordtough.com and you get the training, and we take you through People Whisperer, then you'll be able to get some of these tools. You'll be able to listen to us weekly, and you'll be able to understand what's going on, and then you can apply it to your life, and you're not angry about what other people are trying to do because you're completely aware.
Know it, right, and you'll know what's going on. And that's the other thing, Dutch. It's like, okay, going through our stuff, and I know this is like we shameless plug or whatever, but going through our stuff is kind of like when you were, you want to play college football, but when you were in Pee Wee League or Pop Warner in high school, you went to football camps during the summer. My little girl, she's a lacrosse player. There's lacrosse camps in the summer, right, which teaches you how to identify things that are happening in the game in real time and how to respond to them. It's a physical skill. This is the same way. What you learn here and you go through our coaching, you're not going to learn it in one seminar. You'll become aware of it in one seminar. When you do the coaching, you'll begin to, it's like going to that football camp, that lacrosse camp. You'll begin to see how the game is played and those things, these situations that come up, and then that's how like that Malcolm Butler guy got the interception in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. Instead of Seattle running it in, they threw that pass. Malcolm Butler, because they practiced it, he saw it, he recognized it in real time, and now he's a hero. That's what we do.
There you go.
That's what we do. All right, I got to get back to this because there's so much more to go on. And listen, Uber's not the only one doing this algorithm. They call it forward dispatch. Lyft is doing it too. What it does is it dispatches a new ride to the driver before their current ride ends. So what it's like, it's the same algorithm. They stole the algorithm from Netflix. You know how like Netflix will start the next episode of the season while you're still watching the credits are running on the other one. The episode will start playing.
Begins in 6 seconds.
Yeah, the binge watching. You have to turn it off. I mean, they literally, for a while, you couldn't even turn it off. And then some dudes were like, I can never go offline. I'm just on continuous trips. So they did make a way that you could stop having requests, but only after you got that next one. So you know what it does, though? If they do that, it makes you at least evaluate your time. Because when it starts counting down, you are physically thinking, oh, do I have time to watch this next one? Where if they didn't do that,
you would just turn it off without even thinking, do I have time for this next one? So it's brilliant. It's brilliant. You can't be mad at them, people. You can't be mad at what they're doing to you. But you need to be thankful to Andrew and I for making you aware and understanding, because it's going on all around you. It's not just Uber. It's not just Netflix.
No, it's happening on Facebook, the Google ads, at your work. If you're, listen, they're collecting data on you. Dutch, I was talking to a company this week. They say this is their marketing pitch, is that they have 5,000 points of data on 220 million Americans. So everything that you buy, every library book, everything that you do, they have a profile, personality profile. And in fact, I have that on my LinkedIn thing. There's an extension called Crystal. It's an app you could get, and it literally it looks at your profile on LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter. It looks at everybody else's that you're connected with, and it'll come up and tell you how to word an email that fits their psychological profile, their personality.
Wow. So how can I know we only got a minute left, but again, always think, not with anger, how can I use this information to help me?
Well, that's why I jumped on.
It.
That's why I got that. I got Crystal, man. I want to use it. Like, if it could tell me that when I'm talking to Dutch Coleman, a certain, what language to use and how to word it, then, hey, he likes this when you say, hi, what's up in the email, and then maybe somebody else doesn't want that. They just want the bottom line.
And the way you defeat it is you just be angry in every response, so they never figure out how to make you happy.
No, man, you don't defeat it at all. I know.
So I always type GRRRR. That's what I always do.
That's like, is that like a tiger growl? Is that like a Clemson thing?
That's my old Lou Ferrigno Incredible Hulk.
Oh,
see, I went there.
That is so old. I didn't know you were old.
Is that the 70s right there?
It might have been. Maybe late 70s, early, with the guy from My Favorite Martian was the David Banner guy.
So they were in reruns. I know we had about 10 seconds left. They were in reruns already when I was born. I think you watched them live.
I did watch them in prime time. You're listening to Get Warrior Tough Radio Show with Dutch and Andrew.